So I get asked a lot about a full garage gym tour, so I wanted to go ahead and run through there, show you guys exactly what I got, why I've got it, and what I'm doing with it. Give you a little bit of an idea of what's happening in there, and some of the pieces I've got and some of the pieces I love. Check it out, leave some comments below if you have any questions about some of the pieces I have or what I'm doing with them. Ask down below. Check it out. Also go to thehate.com, check out that stuff I got. Enjoy the video. So, I guess first and foremost, I've got my Concept 2 rowing machine. Stands right there, kind of out of the way. I've got my jerk blocks. Now I built these based off my own design. So I've got 4x4 post, 2x12. There are 3 sheets of laminated plywood, 3/4 inch. Glued and screwed together underneath this rubber top, and then underneath you can see the ribs and the rib structure. There we go. I think that's a 4x8. And the rest are 4x4 ribs, just basically built in there and screwed and attached to everything. On the first run, it was just this side, and you can see how gross that looks, screwing everything together after time and time. But I split it all the way down the side, dropping weight from overhead. The top of it, 2 foot by 3 foot, roughly, and the bottom is the base as well. Moving on to some barbells. What I got in the barbell department. As far as barbells go, these are what I've got. I don't even use all of them anymore, so I have a really cheap York barbell, buffalo bar knockoff. It's kind of shit. The collars suck, the knurling sucks. I don't really use it very much. One day, I'll get a Duffalo bar. And my preference over those is it is a much better bar than the Ironman actual buffalo bar. For some reason they decided not to put any knurling on a squat bar. Thanks, Ironman. Here is a really cheap Olympic bar I purchased from GetRx, some fly-by-night CrossFit website. It bent the first time I used it, so I don't ever use it for anything. Plus, it is huge. It's basically like an axle. I have a Pendlay HD bar, which is great, and which I do all my power lifts on. It's not long, I don't have a big deadlift bar, but it's a great bar. I've had it for 6 or 7 years, and it's held up and taken quite a beating. Next up, I've got my Sorinex competition bar, and it is nice. The knurling on it for Olympic lifting is great. It's velvety, it's perfect grip without any bite or cut. I can get a ton of lifts out of this bar. Spins real smooth. Below that I've got a Pendlay bearing bar. It's also a great bar. These two get used the most in my gym, more than anything else. And last but not least, I've got a safety squat bar, which holds all my stuff. And it gets used very, very little. I'm not a power lifter, so I just don't use it much. Unless my shoulders are banged up, I've got it for basically rehab the same way the Buffalo bar is. But there's all my junk hanging on it. Important stuff. Decent belt. I got a Spud Ink belt. I have a neoprene belt for if the back and guts are feeling sore, need a little extra support. Keep my slanger on here. Keep my cuffs on here. Keep the hip circle on here. Knee sleeves and more knee sleeves as needed. Move on to the rack. I got a Steve Slater strongman log from the old strongman days. I occasionally will bust this out in the off season, do some cleans and some presses, some conditioning with it. Hidden in the corner here, I got a weight over bar implement, some slides, and a Thomas inch dumbbell replica that basically sits right there on the floor forever. I've got my bumper plates. Ooh, a hate banner. Guess where you could get that? I've got Chris Duffin's shoulder rock, been playing with. I've also got Sorinex Warhammer. I have a Tendo unit, a chalk bowl. I have a exercise piece in the back called the answer for internal external rotation of the hips. A stretching piece. I have a Sorinex flat chip box, a single leg support that goes on my rack, the whole crew of kettlebells and mobility tools, my spin bike, because everybody got to do that cardio and warm up. Got my Sorinex glute ham roller. This piece is really excellent for an ab roller, glute ham stuff, arching, stretching, a ton of great stuff. You could probably move a piano if you had to, which is awesome. So that's the guy, really cheap, doesn't take up a lot of space, gets a lot of work done. Hiding in the back here, I've got my Spud Inc. lat pulley. I've also got a Sorinex trigger bar for mobility stuff, all attached to my rack. Flying bat wing for the cross member. Got some other pull-up bars up here that never really get used. I originally thought I would have room with the design to have my rings hanging up here so that I could do whatever muscle up or fitnessing I planned on doing in this region. It just didn't work out. So my rings got moved over here, mounted to a joist in the ceiling. I've got my bench, also by Sorinex. This is with a Thompson fat pad on it, so it is big and cushy and fantastic. I've got a Prowler over in the corner. And I'll give you a breakdown of the Matzo rig from Sorinex. So this is my rig. I designed it. Sorinex helped me put it together. It's probably my favorite piece I've ever bought for my gym. I knew from the first time I went to Sorinex that I wanted one of their rigs, and I have it, and that makes me awesome. So, they are the original guys who did the 3x3 construction. It's all bolt together with these big gnarly ass 1-inch bolts. It's not going anywhere. I'm sure as shit not gonna break it. I don't ever squat in my rack. I don't miss weights in training, and that's not because I'm some type of badass. It's because I pick my weights correctly and I do the work, and I also don't get hurt. So inside the rack, I added this cross member, which is not normally their deal. Neither is this one or this one. So this whole piece here is what makes my rack custom and different. So I added my dip horns to the middle of my rack, because I know that if I have them and I have to take them off and put them on, I just won't end up doing any dips. So I need them available at all times where I can do my pull-ups. I've got my plate storage in the rack instead of on the outside. Takes up less room. Keep my mobility stuff in here with the trigger bar and my horns and racks. My bar rack, or my cups, stay on the outside of the rack. I've also got another trigger piece up here, just out of the way right now for while I'm normally lifting. I've also got room to store my bands and chains off the back of the rig and kind of keep everything out of the way. Now another cool spot about this rack, I've shown it before, but I can add PVC pipe to the rack. And if I want to do some high pulls and make sure I'm hitting a certain height, this fits in perfectly. Having the holes all over the rack like this really does make a gigantic difference in functionality. You can basically build the rack however you want, and it's pretty great. So that is the Matzo rig from Sorinex. I paid for that. That was not free. They've been a sponsor of mine for a long time and it helped me out on a lot of things. And they're a company that I continue to do business with. They've been really, really great for me. And Bert Soren and Richard Soren are guys that have been part of the strength industry now for 35 years. I believe in that, and I believe in the years that they've put in, and I believe in the passion that they have for the industry. So, what other cool toys? That's really about it. I've got some other miscellaneous stuff. I've got some V-Force weight vest. Those are 50 pounds a piece. I've got a plate loading dumbbell. I got some more Sliners. Good radio, indoor shot put. And I've got a med ball for doing some slams and tosses in the streets with the kids in the streets hustling under there. Also some more mobility tools cruising around next to the old beer fridge. So that is a tour of the home gym. I can't think of any money I've ever better spent. It just eliminates the inconvenience of having to go to the gym, making time to travel. I can literally just walk in here and get the work done 24 hours a day whenever I want to. And I can do it exactly how I want to. The other thing I've got in here, I got my bikes. As most of you know at this point, used to have a bicycle shop, and the wife and I recently got back into riding, and so that's what I've got. So I'll give you a rundown of those. I've got a Kona Hey Deluxe. There's a full carbon 29er Fox fork. I think it's like 4 inches travel or something like that. I don't know. Disc brakes. It's nice. Really nice bike. Wife's single speed. The wife's mountain bike is a Jameis full suspension. My single speed, all stealth mode, Darth Vader. And my recent addition, my Felt road bike, all carbon as well. I like cycling. I like being able to get outdoors and do some different stuff. Get out of the gym in the off season and enjoy being outdoor one day a week. Kind of do some outdoorsy shit. Party. Have a good time. Enjoy your life. That's basically it. That's the garage. This is where I spend a lot of my time. So, thanks for checking it out. Cheers.